Yeah, I saw that Ray Dalio news. I need to check that out. What's this dude talking about? Let's start off with that real quick. So for those of you who don't know who Ray Dalio is, this guy's a billionaire hedge fund. Pretty amazing guy from Bridgewater. I think he started it in like 1975. So what does that make it? 47 years old. Guy's got a really interesting story. You should read his book. He's from Jackson Heights, New York, kind of my stomping grounds in Queens. Excuse me. I think he's divorced. But it was the book Principles. I enjoyed that very much. Check out Ray Dalio's book Principles. But apparently, billionaire investor Ray Dalio believes, oh, that's the wrong article. There was something about him talking about Bitcoin. Let's find out what the heck's going on here. Could have swore he was kind of taking some shots at Bitcoin and it potentially being, yeah, there we go. Banned. All right, let's see what he had to say here. Bridgewater's Ray Dalio sees governments banning Bitcoin should it become material. What a naive statement, just in terms of my initial perspective on this. Hold on a second. Hey, can you stop screaming? I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on my show and you're screaming. Yeah, no worries. Just maybe just 30 minutes and then you can start screaming again. Awesome. All right. Sorry about that. Working from home, right? All right. So, and I'm reading from CoinDesk. So this is really interesting. Ray Dalio, the founder, co-chairman of Bridgewater Associates, the world's largest hedge fund, said he sees three main problems with Bitcoin. What are they? One, lack of venues that will accept cryptocurrencies for purchase. That's dumb. None of us are concerned about that whatsoever that are in this space. We see Bitcoin as a store of value. Eventually, it could be used as a currency, but that use case is just, in my opinion, totally ridiculous, naive, and it's like a 2012, 2013 argument. I actually think if you buy anything with Bitcoin right now, you don't understand the value of what you have. So you deserve to lose it essentially, or buy your coffee. It's just dumb. It makes no sense. I even feel that way about like buying altcoins. When you risk Bitcoin for altcoins, you're playing the ultimate game of Las Vegas craps or casino or whatever kind of gambling. I just don't see it. So lack of venues that accept cryptocurrencies for purchases. I today can't take my Bitcoin yet and buy things easily with it. Okay. 2, Bitcoin and other cryptos are too volatile to be considered an effective store of wealth. Totally ridiculous. Again, if you bought Bitcoin 12 years ago and held it till today, you're like, you may be one of the richest people in the world, depending on how much you invested. I mean, right now, what do we have? 5 or 6 or 7 billionaires that we know of that have bought Bitcoin early. So these statements are naive, ridiculous. Pomp and I should get Ray Dalio on our podcast and just dress him down for this ignorant nonsense. The volatility also hurts Bitcoin's use transactionally because vendors won't know how much they're getting. Look, that is true. Again, if you are using Bitcoin for transactions or you're on the other side of that transaction and you're receiving Bitcoin for a purchase, why would you take that P&L risk? You could essentially sell a bag of nuts for sats, and then the volatility drops and you lose all your arbitrage or margin on your transaction. No one wants to deal with that. I get that. That's why solutions like Zap, the stuff that Jack Mahler's working on, where you make transactions, you're agnostic to crypto over Bitcoin rails, so it's using Bitcoin, and he's resolving all of the transactional slippage and the tax situations around that transaction so that you as a consumer can be unbanked. You can use whatever fiat you want, buy a product over a Bitcoin rail, and then the seller on the other side of the transaction has no exposure to the volatility of Bitcoin. Bang, bang. What a great solution. Keep working on that, Jack. But, Ray Dalio's points, well made, embedded in a big ball of turd. 3, if Bitcoin or other cryptos become material, Dalio predicted governments will outlaw it. They will use whatever teeth they have to enforce that. Well, I'm as worried about these teeth as toothless grannies in a biting competition. I'm sure that governments are worried about the internet, and some governments have suppressed the internet, banned the internet, but there are all kinds of workarounds to that. If you think you can't get on the internet in China, well, you're being naive. If you think you can't buy Bitcoin in China, you're being naive as well. I don't want to get arrested, but when I was in China, I bought and sold crypto. So anyway, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. It is what it is. I don't know what Ray Dalio is doing here. He's unfortunately a billionaire on the wrong side of this discussion. Big up to Michael Saylor. Big up to Going Parabolic. Not yet a billionaire, but I'm balling. I bought 60 Bitcoin today just to do my part. I was trying to help pump this thing to 16K. Looks like we're at 15,790.67 right now. We're bouncing all over, but man, doesn't it feel good to see Bitcoin ripping like this? Congratulations to all of you on this live stream right now, because I know you have Bitcoin. I know you're a bunch of savages. Smash the like, and let's get this to 30 likes, and let's keep it going. We're listening to Blockboy JB. Blockboy JB, fire. All right, let's see who's in the feed. So we got a lot of people here today. What's going on, Hugh Meyer? It's good to see familiar faces here. Ray says cash is trash, and so is Bitcoin. His fund is down 20% this year. Seek help. Go to BlockFi. I love it. Yeah, Ray Dalio, you want to make some money? Buy some Bitcoin. Keep it simple, and then just hold it. But it's hard to charge a bunch of people fees for that, right? I love these fund managers. They can be right and wrong, and they still get paid. It's what a game. What a game. InvestX, let's go to the moon. Headphone Son, I hope you're doing well. Hadn't spoken to you in a while. Francisco Espinoza, what's going on? Spencer Mitchell, his book Principles was fantastic. I agree. I really did enjoy that, but how much is fact, how much is fiction in those books, So, but I did enjoy it. Neil Jacobs, send it, Jason. I'm sending it. I'm ready to buy some more, guys. I was looking for an entry point of around 14.8. I just didn't feel like it was coming. I was sitting on $1 million. I was ready to pull the trigger, and I just said, screw it. Let's do it today. So I think I spent, about 900,000, maybe close. No, it was about $950,000 this morning on Bitcoin. So you hear that? Those are my balls clanking. All right. Claudio Block. Good morning. Devin Shaw. What's up? Devin Shaw, Ray's getting feeble. Joel Clark, Jason, I'm back. Wink for 911 if your screaming doesn't stop. I don't know. Have you guys seen that Texas football player that was getting absolutely molested by the ref, the butt pat, the kind of pat and rub? I'm telling you one thing. I don't mind a good butt pat every now and then, man or woman. Bang, hit it. But I'm not talking about no man. It was a little weird. Football, I'll hug, whatever. I'm not against all that, but that was a little wild. So definite wink for 911 moment. I was looking for a wink. I was ready to drive to Texas, but apparently all was good. What else we have here? Stelios Ramos was worried you stopped buying. No, look, it was just going up. It really was just going up. I was sitting there, ready to make another move. I've been talking about it with Pomp, and just going up. It's like you just keep buying the position. Pomp was doing the same thing. He was just plowing in. So it's really exciting. Great times to be a Bitcoiner, right? Great times to be a Bitcoiner. Francisco Espinosa, Celsius CEO attacking BlockFi. Look, Celsius has a good product. I'm not paid to shill it. I'm an investor in BlockFi. I know Flory. I know their CISO. I know their CEO. I've spent hours, if not tens of hours, talking to their management team, looking at their finances. So when people ask me why BlockFi, why not Celsius, or why not something else, hey, I know the management team. I'm an investor, and I'm willing to put some money there and test stuff out. So that's why I appreciate that. Francisco asked me about coin miners. No, I gave my 2 coin miners to a high school kid so he could mine Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever. I donated them to him. So I think coin miners are a great tool, an entry level introduction to mining, and that's really what they're for. They really are just dusters, collect dust and dust the kind of dust the market, right? So it's not real mining of any real sorts. So I want to talk next about the test I did with BlockFi and lending. So I read the contracts. I ended up doing a 50% LTV loan for 24 hours just to see what this thing looked like, see what kind of fees, etc., came of it. Borrowed $46,000 GUSD. I collateralized that with whatever like 6 point some odd Bitcoin, something like that. And it was really kind of cool. By 5 p.m., the GUSD was in my account. They immediately had swept my Bitcoin. And I'm writing this down because I want to go back and explain to you why this is good and why this is bad. The interest only payment was going to be like $400 a month, or $12 plus or minus a day. And that was that. You had to sign into a third party that does some of the administration around the payment. And I can't remember the name of that company. Hold on just 10 seconds. Let's see. It's called Stitch Pay. I think it's called Stitch. Scratch, excuse me. Check out Scratch. I thought it was really interesting. So the company's called Scratch. BlockFi apparently is working with this third party, and they do some of the administration over the loan, set up the payment, and give you a portal to look at it. They have a really cool kind of dashboard that shows whether you're doing fine in terms of your margin, whether you're at risk, or whether you're at like a margin call, or whether they're automatically calling, and it kind of shows you and directs you. It gives you some cure period. It looks like through 3 or 4 of those segments, you have about 72 hours to true up your collateral. But then there's one margin call where they don't give you an opportunity. So that doesn't feel good to me. I'm not a person who carries leverage. I'm not someone who uses a lot of loans. So this wasn't naturally kind of easy for me to do. So borrowed the money. Then I turned the transaction back around. What I found was there was an administrative fee that they charge of over $900 to set up the loan. So imagine, this was kind of like a bummer. It's a crypto bank or a crypto lending situation where I'm collateralizing it I'm over collateralizing it, right, with Bitcoin. They're taking custody of my Bitcoin, reducing my account by that margin, giving me the GUSD loan or whatever denomination you want, charging me over $900 to do that work, and then $400 a month interest payment, or $12 a day. So the difference, if you had a traditional stock portfolio, a lot of times the bank will give you access to a line of credit, interest only line, can convert it after 12 months into an interest and principal loan, but they'll give you a line of credit most of the time. And they'll give you 50 cents on the dollar. So if you have $1 million in your stock market account, they'll give you a $500,000 line of credit, right? The cool thing about the bank, and not the cool thing about BlockFi, is the bank doesn't make you liquidate your stock market account to take that interest line, right? So you would hit that line for $100,000. You'd still have your full $1 million stock account. They would just lean against $100,000 of it. I don't understand why BlockFi is not doing the same thing. It's probably because they're rehypothecating your Bitcoin. They're shoving it into some mechanism to create arbitrage far beyond the 9.75, I think it's 9.75% APY that they're charging you for the loan. So that didn't feel good. I would rather them lean against, like, somehow say if I had 10 Bitcoin and they're leaning against 5, make 5 red. Leave all 10 there. Allow me to keep getting my 3%, right? But don't let me withdraw. Don't let me do anything with those 5. Give me my loan, charge me my interest only, and then give me all those other services, and then kill the $900 administration fee to set up the loan. That was just egregious. It felt like traditional banking. I immediately called Flory on it and said, "What are you guys doing?" The good thing is they were super receptive. I think they're rethinking the fees. So look, all in all, 1, you don't have a stranded asset if you have some Bitcoin on BlockFi. 2, you can borrow against it. 3, you can borrow against it pretty easily. 4, it's heavily collateralized. 5, I don't like that they take the Bitcoin out of your account and use it because you then lose the interest earning capacity. You're like double risked up or triple. You've taken on more risk, right? 1, I'm already taking on the risk of having my Bitcoin on BlockFi. 2, now you're taking that Bitcoin out of my account. It's like, what is happening? So you could get some GUSD. 3, don't mind the principal and interest. It's kind of a cash flow loan anyway, so you're not paying 9+%. That's kind of standard. 4, do not like the fees whatsoever associated with it. So look, I'm always going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people chirping about Celsius to me. I don't know what's going on with Alex, if he's butthurt. I've never seen a company go directly at another company so much. Like, as an entrepreneur, as someone who starts businesses, I look across at the landscape of what's happening in my space, but I don't let someone else's agenda dictate my agenda. Like, it appears like he can't stop, watching what BlockFi is doing. It's a little concerning. Plus, how's that Cell coin? It's up 2,000%. Just, Shroot bucks. It's US dollar. It's Chuck E. Cheese tokens. Who's going to get caught holding the Cell bag? That's my question. So don't talk to me about hacks. Don't talk to me about your treasury. Don't talk to me about Tether. Don't talk to me about Cell, right? Don't talk to me about any of that stuff. Fees, I get it. But, for me, it's about, like, who do you know? What do you know? Who do you trust? Where, how much am I going to risk? Do your own research. One of my buddies, super smart guy, he loves Celsius and uses it. I just haven't gone there. So I'd love to talk to this guy. He seems super smart. I think Pomp's talked to him before, but I don't understand all the smoke he's got for Zach and Flory and BlockFi. You don't want to be the only pioneer in a space. Pioneers end up in ditches with arrows in their back. Let's see. Got a lot of people in the live feed today. Got over 100 people watching today. It's really awesome. You got to check this out. I was looking for a watch winder. I've got a few watches and I don't really need much. My wife was asking me about, like, what do I want for Christmas? And I had found the coolest watch winder because I was looking for something that could wind 12 watches. You got to check out lumicidius.com. I'm going to probably blow up the website here. Lumasidius.com. Lumasidius.com. I just put it in the feed. So if you're into watches, check out lumasidius.com. Not a sponsor, but something like I want one of these things so bad. It is absolute fire. I think it holds like 12 or 13 watches. It has an amazing movement. They make one in like 24 karat gold. It's gold plated. It's an absurd amount of money. It's about the price of most people's cars. But when you're parking 12 watches, that each one's probably worth, tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your watch winder, probably it's not a big deal that it costs $20,000, right? I don't think we make a big deal about that. Neil Jacobs, send it, Jason. Devin Shaw, Reagan, Feeble. We already said that. Joel Clark, Jason, I'm back. We said that. Okay, AK, JW, awesome show as usual. Wanting to know your thoughts on Bitcoin versus ETH. I'm a Bitcoin greater than ETH myself, just wanting to get your thoughts and ideas on it. I mine Ethereum in a big way, and a lot of the PRTI plant that we built, it just mines Ethereum. So I enjoy GPU mining. We sell all our Ethereum though for Bitcoin, so it's not something that I hold. I have a small bag of Ethereum, and I use it to do NFTs and stuff like that, Decentraland, and explore fringe projects like DeFi, etc. But now, every time I use some Bitcoin to refund or to true up like one of my Ethereum wallets or buy an NFT, it kind of bothers me a little bit. So that's kind of my feeling. Hopefully that helps you. I'm all Bitcoin, so I just don't want you to waste time. Shout out to Ryan RDBTC. Dude is recovering. He did, we wish him well. He wasn't feeling well. He's a really good guy, even though he's an Arsenal fan. Arsenal suck. Ryan doesn't suck. DD, I admire you a bit. Well, I admire you too. Well, let's admire each other. Niels is asking, will we see another dip? No. You see we're consolidating here. We're chopping sideways at 15,763. I think there's absolute blue sky, melt your face off, rocket ship, moon, Lambo. How many Lambos? Like what color Lambo? Everybody is just dancing around because you're the smartest person in the room. Finally, you're going to be able to have Thanksgiving with your family if you actually get a chance to eat them and like take a dump on the table. Don't do that. I don't even know why I said that. Peter Chow, Get Money, Get Paid. Claudio Bach, The Psychology of Money is a great book. Oh, also, I already hired the reader. I've got a lovely young lady in Europe who's going to do the audiobook. I finished my book. So I'm really excited about that. Thinking about like the right price, probably like 12 or 14 bucks. But I just want people to read it. I spent a lot of time on it. It was one of my goals going into the pandemic. I had screwed around with it a little bit beforehand, but I really dove deep and spent the last 7 months just down the rabbit hole, came out with a very solid book, something I'm very proud of. And I hope that each of you will check it out and share it with friends, listen to it, read it, be coming out in paperback, audiobook, probably the end of this month. So just working out the specifics, graphics, illustration, finish the book cover. I'm really proud of it. So this is cool. I've written a few patents, got a bunch of issued patents, done fair amount of academic work in my life. Writing the book was hard. At some points, you're writing and you're just like, this thing fucking sucks. It's just garbage. You throw away 50 pages of work that you've done. But, for any of you that have ever written a book, it was definitely challenging, but I enjoyed it very much, and I hope you enjoy it too. It's going to be a pretty cool thing. Stelios Ramos was worried you stopped buying for a while. Nah, bro. I hit it hard today. I can't believe $1 million. I only got 60 Bitcoin. I mean, that is mind blowing. $1 million only got me 60 Bitcoin. The last time I dropped $1 million, I was in Peru with my buddies surfing. It was in March, early March, and I dropped 1.5 million and bought. I was buying it like 4,000, 4,500. So it's like for me, I really see that's wild. You know, I probably bought 150 Bitcoin for that price. So, and then before that, I mean, we were slugging away at Bitcoin at 2,000. So, for any of you that are in here just stacking sats, you know, who cares if you can't buy a whole Bitcoin? You can buy sats and just keep going, because we're not going to be talking about Bitcoin in the near future. We just won't be talking about it. You'll hear about contracts, and those contracts are valued at 25 Bitcoin, but there'll be no people talking about buying Bitcoin. That'll be something in the past. We'll talk about Satoshis and unit economics and all the ways that people are rehypothecating Satoshis, right? Neil's got a job for me, JW. No, man, I'm trying to get rid of all my jobs. Stitch Pay sounds stodgy. That's from Ryan. Check out. Yeah, I don't think it was called. It's called Scratch, not Stitch. Devin Shaw, Jason, do you view a mortgage on your primary home differently than one on a rental home? I do. A mortgage on a primary home is kind of like a car. These are kind of necessities in life. You can rent, you can buy a home. Most people don't have the capacity to buy it outright. So you lease it or rent it or mortgage it. But I don't like it as an institution. I think it's a banking mechanism to keep you broke as fuck. And, you know, banks need to lend money. So banks came up with this talk line of, hey, let's create this sales program where we convince people that the American dream is to own a home. But guess what? Most people never realize the American dream because you never pay off that mortgage. We're going to crush you with 30 years of debt in your 20s or early 30s that you'll pay off by the time you're fucking 60, and you're gonna pay on that thing. You're gonna pay interest mostly, principal very little, and we're gonna dangle refinancing and all kinds of nonsense, and then give you a second mortgage at some point because your shitty house needs a new roof or something, and put you in more debt. And I don't like that game. I want people to think differently. So I definitely view it differently. I don't mind using leverage on income producing properties. As I've said before, you can use leverage on your primary home. If you really play the game and you have stable income and you have a bit of equity in your house, I do recommend pulling that equity out as a strategy and deploying it into scenarios that you can get alpha. But anytime you can eliminate these debts, it can lead you to a freer mind, a freer perspective, an opportunity to work on yourself. You know, I probably was completely debt free, other than business transactions around the periphery, completely debt free by the time I was 30. And I'm talking about when I was 30. I probably had a net worth of 25 to 50 million without debt. And then I had, you know, venture investments and some real estate leverage, right? So then over the next decade, I got to about 150 million of net worth, with still being in a situation where I haven't had a paycheck in a long time. Like, it's not something that I work towards. So the things I do, I try to create equity positions in. I'll work for years for no compensation, planting seeds that hopefully explode into opportunities that yield money to me in the future. So the reason I'm sharing that with you is not to flex. It's to say, don't get blue pill. Don't subscribe to this, get a high paying job and work your ass off for the rest of your life and buy a house and be crushed with debt and drive a Toyota Camry. and never see your family or friends or do the things that you like. I think that's a total sham. It's a like industrial age strategy. Go to college, get a high paying job. I wish more people were honest with others and said, look, come up with some idea, some concept, something that you can be the best in the world in, and go do that, and do it from anywhere in the world. Don't tie yourself down to some place or some continent, or you don't have to do that. We're so connected right now. I'm probably talking to people all over the world, right? We're sharing information, and we're able to communicate, and we're able to make money. We're watching a banking system that's everywhere and nowhere all at once in Bitcoin. I mean, it's an amazing phenomenon. I'm tired of hearing this talk track about like how Bitcoin improves your Sharpe ratio. I loved when I heard Michael Saylor say that, because, Pomp and I feel that way. We giggle like schoolgirls when we talk about Bitcoin, but we can't talk like that to people like in the institutional world, because they just think we're just goofy. They're not gonna open up the checkbook on an institution when two people are chuckling and giggling and saying how disruptive Bitcoin is, or as Michael Saylor, said, like, I just brought you fire. Like, how did fire affect civilization? Like, Bitcoin is like that. I'm bringing you fire. That's how I feel about Bitcoin. But you can't say that. You have to say, get off zero, put 1% of your assets into this diversified, non-correlated asset class that improves your Sharpe ratio, and how it will have, it'll have these properties that work differently than gold and the stock market and your real estate and debt. I mean, yeah, but you're not going to put enough money to work to do it. So I'm happy to say that I restructured some of my own personal finances to get now above 20% of my net worth in the space. So I'm really excited about that. So anyway, all right, just keep rocking and rolling. Mortgage answered. David Jeffries, what are your thoughts on renting a house instead of buying a house? David, I would try to do something like this. I have a dear friend. He is a retired guy from RJ Reynolds. For those of you who are readers, please read the book Barbarians at the Gate. It's the story of RJ Reynolds and the senior management team there. A really good book. RJ Reynolds is a tobacco company based in North Carolina. These were the guys who were in the book Barbarians at the Gate. But he taught me a valuable lesson about real estate. He said, Jason, when you buy a property, you buy meters. And meters, it means the electrical meters. So if you buy a single family house, it has 1 meter. If you buy a duplex, it's dual metered or has 2 meters. Each meter allows you the opportunity in his world and his vision to rent it out. So imagine, David, if you were to buy a duplex, live in one of them, rent the other one, and arbitrage or use the rental income you make off of the one to pay the mortgage on the whole thing. So you have no operating expense. That's the kind of move I would tell you to do if you were my son. Like, if I was your mentor, I'd say, hey, rather than rent to save up money. But once you want to make that first move into a property, do that. And then on other shows, I've talked to you all about, if you live in a property for 2 years as your primary residence, you can roll your capital gains up to a certain amount tax-free. I think it's $250,000 for a single person, $500,000 for a couple, but check that math. I think the law is still in place though. So think about that. Buy a property, live in it, flip it if you want after 2 years. You get to keep all the gains above your initial outlay, and you don't have to pay any tax on it. I think that's pretty cool. Check that out. Yeah, Jody's in the Cayman Islands. Majority of the public are not in this. They don't have a clue. So true if you're talking about Bitcoin. Moniker Mizurov. Manchester United suck lately, by the way. Please make some changes, brother. Send them messages, please, and thank you. Yeah, they suck really bad. It's I wanted to do like a live feed of the games as part of this channel. I'm just so angry when I watch them play. I just didn't think it would be fun. And unless you guys want to watch me suffer during a Manchester United match, I mean, watching McTominay, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's love child, start every game. I mean, he's atrocious. Pogba, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's just not even starting. If they put, I don't even know what happened to Mason Greenwood, but he's not. These guys aren't even the quality that we need. But I don't even know why they're not playing. Watching Donny van der Beek sit on the bench and play behind Juan Mata. I mean, Juan Mata's my age. I literally have a game tonight, and I wear the number 8 Juan Mata, and as a joke, I should film myself. You won't be able to tell the difference between me and Juan Mata, other than I'm better looking, faster, taller, better in the air, better at defense. Shout out to me, Manchester United. If you're willing to start Juan Mata, think about Jason Williams. He's a straight baller. All right, let's see what else we got. AK, thank you for your response on Bitcoin versus ETH. You and Pomp should have a funky pop character. Funko? I don't know what that is. Figure holding Bitcoin in your hand. Don't know what that is. At Kip Downer. Wait, is that Kip in here? Let's see what Kip said. I'm tired of 15,000. Can we get to 16, 17, or 18K? It looks like we're breaking down right now, 15.6. I don't know what's going on. Maybe we're just getting a little bit of, it's 3:30. Hey, let me check the chart real quick. Something's going on. Yeah, we got a big red candle forming. It's weird. Yeah, we're at 15,636. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. That's Bitcoin for you, right? I want that thing to go up. I was hoping it would smash 16K while we were here. Man, you can't afford you on the roster. I love it. I love it. All right, look, 143 people, 146 people on the live feed. This is awesome. You guys are fantastic. I went on a few rants. I'm going to buy some more Bitcoin, keep pumping this thing. Pack your bags. Moon Lambo time. When we come out of this thing, this is going to be awesome. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Wrap it up. Let's go.